What's going on, everybody? Welcome out to another episode of That's Funny to Me. Yes, we are your uncle. We up in here. All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for always tuning in, man. And I'm getting your comments. We're seeing all your good comments, man, about how y'all enjoying the show. How we're comedians, but we're intelligent. I know I'm one of the smartest comedians in the world, and I appreciate y'all letting me know that. But I do have some great co-hosts. But before I bring them in, I do want to make sure I give a shout out to everybody over there that on E. Dewey, Pastor E. Dewey Smith page, everybody on House of Hope. If you're watching over there, hey, how y'all doing? I'm trying to get Pastor E. Dewey Smith to let me preach one Sunday. He don't want me to preach. I don't know if he think I'ma take the church. I guess he think I'm gonna take the church if y'all hear me preach. But it's okay. It's okay. But shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for letting us be on your platform. Shout out to Pastor E. Dewey Smith doing some amazing things. Thank y'all so much. And so let's get it kicking. Let's get it cracking. We got a lot to talk about. It's a lot that's been going on. So make sure you like and share. Come on in. Tell me where you're from. Enjoy the conversation. Get into the conversation. We're going to have a good time. I do want to welcome our co-host, our host. First, we got my good sister. She's back. We missed her last week. I don't know if she's in New York, California, Dubai. This girl is just traveling all over the place. Y'all give it up for Rita Brent. Rita Brent, what's up, baby? How you doing?
I'm in the hat den. What's poppin'?
I see you with your hats now. She got all the little hat wall. Okay. All right. We got my good friend, Pay Teachers More Money. Give it up for Hank Denson. What's going on, Hank? How you doing?
I am good, sir. How are you good party people? Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this guy right here, man, my good friend, funny comedian, all the way from Nigeria, the African Prince. Give it up for Wellington Ojukwu. What up, baby?
What up, baby? I'm here. And like Rita Brent, I too have been traveling all over my house. That's how I've been traveling, all over the house, from one room to another, to the kitchen, to the bathroom, to the dining room. That's how I roll, baby. Let's do it.
Boy, that's a lot of traveling, man. You got a lot of miles. Have anybody done any shows, though? I mean, anybody done any shows coming up?
Yes.
I do Zoom shows all the time, but I haven't been in a club in about 2 weeks or about a month. Wow. I did one outside an amphitheater, but I don't know, man. I'm still iffy. I'm supposed to be doing some clubs in Connecticut and New Jersey, but I'm like,
where that man
I want to live. I want to live.
Rita, you been out and about though. Rita been doing some things lately.
But I ain't been in nobody club though. So I've been
Rita said I'm making some money, but I ain't.
I'm making about $5 a week now. I don't know if they consider money. With all of this going toward rent in New York, so I don't know. Y'all might be seeing me in ATL a little sooner than you think. Let me just put that out there.
That's what's up. Would you just kill one?
I've been trying to get Rita here for like 4-5 years now. Ever since I met her.
Come on, Rita. We got room. There's room for one more.
You been out in the club?
Yes, I have. These bills got to get paid. My unemployment ain't came in yet, so it's a wild, wild west, baby. Taking no losses.
All right, man. Well, let's jump in to these topics. Let's jump into these topics. Rita, what you got for us? What you kicking it off with us? What topic you got for us today?
Man, let's talk about the NBA boycott that happened this week. I was extremely proud. I did not expect it. And I was like, man, Ali would be proud. Kaepernick would be proud. I was thinking that this is something that all of the sports teams should have done when Kaepernick kneeled. But, it's better late than never. So the Milwaukee Bucks decided not to play Wednesday night. And then Orlando, the Magic decided not to play as well. And this is all in the wake of the Kenosha, Wisconsin shooting of Jacob Blake.
Mm-hmm.
And then followed up by the 17-year-old white vigilante who shot and injured 3 protesters. He killed 2. And so then after that, the other teams decided that they weren't going to play. That Thursday, LeBron James very vulgarly on his Twitter was like, forget this, we are tired. And Kenny Smith walked off the set and left his boy up there looking lonely. But listen,
I actually have a video before let's show that video of Kenny Smith walking off the set. It was very, very awkward. He left an awkward moment. But if you could play that video, I thought it spoke volume.
The biggest thing now is to kind of, as a black man, as a former player, I think it's best for me to support the players and just not be here tonight. And figure out what happens after that. I just don't feel equipped to do that.
And I respect that.
Shaq and Charles didn't move.
Man.
So, let me sip on this tea. No, I respect it.
Yeah.
Like for the players to say, hey, if you cannot respect our black bodies off the court, then we're not going to let you keep making money off of us on the court, because they are more than athletes. They are black men. They are human, and they are affected by these things. If they were not in uniform, they could very well be Jacob Blake or Philando Castile or John Crawford or Tamir, like you name it. They could be all of those men. So this was bold. And I want to hear what Kaepernick got to say, because he tried to tell them a long time ago to do this. Kyrie Irving tried to tell them to do this. And Kendrick Perkins, big swole head self, tried to talk noise about Kyrie Irving for suggesting this very thing. So I think it was bold, and I think it set a good precedent.
Yeah. Wellington, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna say this. Normally, it does take somebody. I know a lot of people, saying they should have been listening to Kaepernick, which, I mean, it took a lot to get to this point, and I'm glad it's happening, because what people are starting to realize, what we've all realized from day one, is that the only time legislation will change, the only time they will end police immunity, is when you affect their money. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's the only language America understands, is racism and money. You remove that money from them, you start affecting their money, then come the apologies, then comes the, man, you guys are prolific. You black people are courageous and brave and all that. You see, you saw the way Kenny Smith got up and he left. And what did Shaq and Charles Barkley do? They sat there. They just sat there and watched this man. Instead of acknowledging, the only person who acknowledged it was the other guy who said, man, I respect that. Well, we don't need you to respect it. We don't need you to respect it. You sat there and you saw Charles and Barkley. What they showed you is what a lot of what it looks like to be a black Republican. Now, they haven't come out and said they're Republicans, but we know what Charles is. Charles was sitting.
I don't care.
Charles was sitting there saying to himself, oh, me's, oh, my's. They done, whoo, lordy. And Shaq was thinking about that Shaq-a-roni pizza at Papa John's. He just dropped the Shaq-a-roni pizza with dozens of pepperoni. He's like, they're not going to hit my Papa John. They're not going to hit my Papa John deal. I don't want to hit my Papa John deal. I don't want to hit it. So salute to Kenny Smith, man. I see where it's going, and this is the only way they'll ever listen to us and help our cause. It's just time. It's been time for us to end this police immunity, strike legislation, to give these people federal crimes and treat them as the hate crimes that they are, because that's exactly what they are.
Mr. Hank.
Yes,
how you feel?
Sir.
Are you down for the boycott?
It was amazing to watch, dog. I was like, about time. it's just sad that they can put black men in a bubble and protect them when they're worth a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bubble, everybody wanted to live, all of us want to live in the NBA bubble. There's no COVID
nice.
there. There's no racism there. It's the best place to be in the NBA bubble. But one thing that it did affect, it affected us. You a black man. And for them to stand up and put that basketball down and stand up for us, because that's what it is. It's standing up for the common man. We need to be common. There needs to be a commonality amongst all of us. Money was separating us a lot. You know, if it ain't affecting my money, it ain't my problem. And that's what Shaq and Charles Barkley showed. Well, it ain't affecting my money. I'm not gonna let nothing affect my money. But you know, you sit there and you think about Shaq had 2 black kids, and I'm not speaking on Shaq, but he got black boy. You got black sons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the bubble shows that how you can live and you make money for the man, they'll protect you. But outside that bubble, you don't mean anything. So hey, like Wellington said, affect that money.
I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate. Because mind you, last time I read, they're actually getting ready. They're going to be playing next week or this week. They're going to be playing, like, the playoff is going to continue. So it's just one game. They boycotted one game. I just feel like, why did y'all even start the season in the first place? I feel like, why now? What was the difference when, like you say, Cat was doing all that? Why didn't y'all take a knee then? Like, everybody want to take a knee. Everybody want to do it now. And we're like, Cat was doing this 4 or 5 years ago. What changed? Nothing changed as far as police brutality. It's still the same.
More black men died. That's it.
It just kept happening. And who really bothered me was the Roger Goodell. I actually have a video of him actually apologizing, saying that they should have listened to Cat. Can we play that video? And this really made me mad. This bothered me.
The first thing I'd say is I wish we had listened earlier, Cap, to what you were kneeling about and what you were trying to bring attention to. We had invited him in several times to have the conversation, to have the dialogue. Mm-hmm. I wish we had the benefit of that. Yeah. We never did. And, we would have benefited from that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Sometimes.
That's my issue, because even though everybody boycotted NBA, I think the MLB, WNBA, everybody boycotted the game. But again, what's next? What did that boycott actually do? We got attention. We've been getting attention. So, because y'all getting ready to play again. So what did it do? But that was a conversation piece.
Adam Silver released a statement today, and from what I've seen, he does plan on actually enforcing some action. So they have like the Social Justice Task Force, and what they do, they're creating the first ever NBA foundation to create greater economic empowerment in the Black community. So they've been to push some money into the Black community, which I think is helpful. I mean, I don't know if that's his form of reparations or something, but that's at least an action, as opposed to just saying, all right, we boycott one game and now we playing again and that's it. So I respect that from Adam Silver, because I don't know if that would have been the same with the previous NBA commissioner. So Adam Silver is at least listening to the players and saying, and not doing what Roger Goodell did, which is blackball people, because Roger Goodell always knew why Kaepernick was kneeling. This idea that, I don't know, I wish I had listened. No, your head was up Trump's behind, and you made it political and used the military as a distraction. You always knew why he was kneeling. So I don't even want to hear what Roger Goodell talking about. It's not authentic. It's not honest. He's lying.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the players. Okay, the solidarity was great, but what are we gonna do? I mean, you stop one game. I mean, yeah, y'all probably lost some money on some commercials or whatever, but y'all make that back. They'll make that back next game. They'll double the commercials.
Right.
I
That's a
think
fact.
what is happening right now is that with them stopping that game, it continues to open the floor for discussion on what is everybody doing to improve black economy, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. You pull your money out of these white establishments, start pouring it back into your black economy, start pouring it back into the black banks, start pouring it back into everything else that we own. Start owning everything. People are becoming awoke about owning their masters. The masters and the artists are owning their own property. It's always about ownership. The only way we can fight what we're up against is through a strong black economy, economic freedom. We need that because they're not even fighting. They would rather these cities burn down before they prosecute these police officers. Look at what Daniel Cameron is doing. People wonder why folks despise Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris was Daniel Cameron during her time as Attorney General, during her time as the DA. That's exactly why. She did not prosecute the police who murdered people that were unarmed, who murdered people unjustly. She didn't. And that's the same thing Daniel Cameron is doing. Only way we can continue to change this is black economic freedom.
Yeah. All right.
That's a bigger discussion about. I just want to respond to that. That's a bigger discussion about qualified immunity for police officers that hopefully Joe Biden will implement while he's in office. But to put the blame solely on Kamala Harris and compare her to a Daniel Cameron right now, I think that's a little unfair. And it's Kamala, it's not Kamala.
What did you say? It's Kamala? Kamala? She did about the same thing he did. When you don't prosecute police, people are out there protesting against Daniel Cameron right now because he's choosing not to have these police officers prosecuted. That's the same thing. I'm not saying that she's the only one that's doing it. She's not the only one that's doing it, but they did the same thing.
But
so I'm saying this is why people despise her.
And
I disagree. Go ahead. Other stuff to talk about.
I get both points. Like I was listening, and just on the retrospect of it's Kamala. We got to think about when you're appointed to a position, right? And her job was to clean up the streets. And this is where we got to get to as black people and understand. If you're a father and you lose one of your kids to violence from another black person, and you go to the court and you go to Kamala, and you say, prosecute that person. You want her to prosecute that person to the fullest of the law, because in Oakland, there was a lot of black on black violence. Am I right? So in the second time, you lose a second son. Now, when I go in her office and she looks me in my face, I don't need her to say, oh, I'm not trying to put a lot of brothers in jail. And that's what she was dealing with. I did my research and I was feeling a different way about what they were saying. My cousins live in Oakland, and understand, if I lost a brother to gang violence, as a father, I want you prosecuted. I'm not going to show up in no court and be like, you know what, we need to forgive and forget. I need you to prosecute this dude so he don't kill another one of my kids. So this is what she was dealing with, and we need to look at the full spectrum of what this woman was dealing with, trying to correct that criminal scene and what was going on in Oakland. Because I was the first one to say, yo, look at her conviction rate. Her conviction rate is ridiculous.
Oh, I ain't talking about a conviction rate. I'm not talking about conviction rate. I'm talking about her simply prosecuting the police that had murdered people unjustly.
But that's the culture she lived in. And you got to understand, she's still under the same scrutiny of, okay, I got to do my job. So do I go in there and just like they said about Obama, he didn't do nothing for black people. So it's like every time we get somebody in there, we need to just hold them to the fire. We need to hold them to the fire and be like, yo, this is what we need. This is what we're seeing. Just like the other night, I figured out we had Trump appointed 198 judges. Like, we so far behind the 8 ball of what this man is doing to affect our future. Like, we need somebody to get in there and just change some stuff. And if she changed half of it.
I think the main thing that we need to start doing is financially supporting these candidates. I think that's why we don't get stuff done. we as a black community don't come together. I'm sorry, that's just politics.
We should have bought
we
some
talk about all these other organizations. We talk about what she did, Obama did for the LGBT and these other organizations. They put money up. You know, they put money behind these candidates. That's just my thoughts on it. When you put money behind a candidate, they're going to listen. They're going to
100%. 100%.
It ain't changed. Nothing changed. Nothing changed from back in the days. I mean, we just don't do it anymore. Back in the day, the Muggsy Bogues days when they were having moonshine runs and all that, there was black structure where we did that same business. And what we would do is buy off cops, buy off governors, buy off people to turn their heads so we could do our business and get our money. Now, for some reason, as time went on, our structures have been burned down, so we don't have that financial structure that we used to have, like Black Wall Street and all that, to do that. But we need to get back to, hey, you a millionaire, you a millionaire, you a millionaire. Yo, we need to buy that guy.
We need to support and put money behind him. And if you put money behind him, I promise you, if you put money behind him, he's going to listen. I just feel like right now, with the movements we got going on, and we'll move on after, because we'll talk about the Trump speech. But I just feel like we got too many movements going on within the black community. If you come to Atlanta, it'll be 30 marches in one day. 30 different marches in 30 different areas, all at the same time. And I'm like, what in the world going on? Like, why we got so many movements? We need to narrow this thing. I
went downtown. We were there for one march. Then next thing you know, another march started. And then another march joined up. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Well, why they shirts is blue?
Some of those marches are not marches. Some of those amount of people that you see are just lines for slutty vegan. That's what that is. So it's not a march. It's just a line for slutty vegan. People are trying to get their appetite on. People are trying to eat. People are trying to eat right, get their life right with God, and cancel all that meat. So don't get it twisted. See, some of these lines,
it's not a march.
These marches, not marches. They're not what you think. Some of them are for Jordans. Some of them are for slutty vegans. Some of them are for the latest video game PS5. Folks is trying to live out here. These ain't marches. These lines.
Let's move on. Let's move on. I ain't mess well. Let's move on real quick. Now the RNC was last week. I just have a brief little video of Trump and his speech, which this dude is funny. Can you play that little speech, man? Just a little piece of Trump talk about how he kept his promises.
From the moment I left my former life behind, and it was a good life, I have done nothing but fight for you. I did what our political establishment never expected and could never forgive, breaking the cardinal rule of Washington politics. I kept my promise.
Rita, what was your take on that? I know you did a little more research than all us on the convention.
Well, I could not stomach to actually watch this. But when I saw the crowd, because many people were saying that Trump would not be able to excel in his speech without a crowd, and to look out there, and I think it was at least 1,500 people, and they didn't seem to be socially distancing. A lot of them did not have on masks. And to know that 181,000 folks have died from corona, and he is just being defiant in that moment, it was disgusting. And I couldn't take it seriously. He lied throughout, said nothing about Jacob Blake and the protest. You know, he was exaggerating coronavirus numbers. He was attacking Biden. I mean, it was so disgusting. Even the opening line about I left my former life behind, it just screams white privilege to know his former life was cheating on his baby mama with a porn star and you still became president. That alone is it should make us feel ashamed as Americans that this man is president. It was a horrible speech. It was a horrible speech, and that was a coronavirus hotspot. That's what it was. Rest in peace, Herman Cain.
I saw a meme though, or a comment. Someone was like, you know, when one of our black brothers get arrested or killed by the police officer, they justify by their background. You know, they bring up all their background, that they did this and this and this and that. But if you research the background of our president, it's like,
it's horrible.
Dude,
it's horrible.
He is nasty.
It's disgusting.
He is nasty.
Dog, it's
so
yo.
He said stuff like that. Go
Yo,
ahead.
He was dirty. He's dirty, dog. He's dirty. He's so dirty.
Trump got the background of a mafia mob boss that was incompetent. That's what his background is. An incompetent mafia mob boss. That's what the background he got is. I don't even know how he's still up. Watching the RNC, I watched it. It was, I'm going to tell you why. Because watching the RNC was like watching the white version of Comic View. I'm talking about the jokes they was putting out there was straight classic. They was throwing haymakers out there. And then when the third lady got up to the podium, Melania Trump, the third lady, when she got up to the podium, it sounded like I was listening to.
What's the number?
It sounded like I was listening to the first lady. She the first lady of porn. She the first lady of porn, like when they was taking them snapshots of her booty butt naked with a hoo-ha out, showing everybody her wing, her jewelry box, her clam bits.
This lady used to be a porn star. How?
Third
lady. You can Google her breast and share your
Oh my
screen.
God.
We will see Melania's breast right now.
I'm here to tell you right now, as many people say that Trump should be ashamed, one thing that Trump supporters and Trump, everybody, they have zero shame. Zero. They don't care. If he's lying, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They just gonna clap for him anyway. Like I said, you should watch when Melania began her speech. The only thing she said, thank you to our president. It will be a pleasure for him to serve this country. I felt like I was in communist Russia. I felt like communism was about to happen. Folks was about to drag people out to camps. Lord have mercy. When you hear her speech, that was Drago. That was Drago from Rocky V. We love to serve this country the best way we can.
We got to get out there and vote. I said every show we're going to make sure we push voting. Please get out and vote. We want you to get out to the polls. I know y'all, people want to mail their stuff in. I personally won't be mailing anything in. I will be pressing that button to vote. So, put the mask on and get out there and vote. Get out there and vote. Please vote. We're going to be pushing that every week and even more when we get closer to election. All right. I want to move on. I want to close on this one. Wellington, this one, I saw a video you posted about this. You really didn't make a comment about this next topic, but I do want you to introduce what happened in Kenosha.
I'm going to tell you what I tend to wait for. Before I even make comments, this one particularly, because I knew there was so much more information that was not being discussed. And I finally got to see a lot of information. Kyle Rittenhouse is a high school dropout who was driven to the Kenosha protest by his mother, who also stayed there during the protest, and she too was armed. She gave him the AR assault rifle, the AR-15. She gave him that. That was his mother's, and she gave it to him, even though she knew as a grown adult that him being 17, he's not legally allowed to carry. So that was the first aggressive move. She did not care because they were out there for one thing, and they got it. He killed 2 people, shot 3, killed 2, injured 1. He blew his elbow. He blew a hole in his elbow. The first person he killed was a guy who they claimed to have been chasing him with a Molotov cocktail, and that was a lie. It was a plastic bag with some stuff in it. That was not a Molotov cocktail. He shot that guy in the head, which was saddening because if you have a rifle, you can shoot him in the legs. You shot him dead in the head. He shot him in the head, and so when he did that, people started to chant, "Get him! He shot somebody! He shot somebody! Get him! Get him! Get him!" So everybody after that who attacked him while he was running was going to disarm him. They were attacking him with the intentions to disarm a person who has already shot somebody who could potentially shoot somebody else. And in the act of doing that, 2 people were shot. One of them was shot in the chest, and he was killed. I believe he was a 26-year-old, a 29-year-old, and the other one was shot in the elbow, who also, in a picture, is armed with a gun. So he could have easily shot that boy to disarm him, but he didn't. He didn't shoot him. He could have. And he could have shot him after he was shot in the elbow, and it would have been justified because he had already been fired on. But he didn't. And then Kyle runs into the arms, runs past the police. The police say, "What's going on?" They say, people are saying, get him. He just shot somebody. And
nothing happened.
He walks right past them. They don't care.
Goes home. He went home. Played a little.
Oh yeah, he went home. His mother drove him home. Mother drove him home. She probably picked up McDonald's breakfast on the way. She probably got him a McGriddle, the Big Deluxe Slam breakfast at Denny's.
No, they had
and made sure
they had Fruity Tooty, fresh and fruity breakfast with the hash browns.
So hey, but how you feel about it, man? You got teenage sons and stuff like that.
I mean, come on, man. This is what we dealing with. We knew this was coming. These are the same cats that run up in schools that shoot up everybody in the school. We keep trying to deter from what terrorists are in this country. Terrorists are little white dudes, 17 around his age, that their parents tell them that they could do whatever they want and they get away with it. Like, this has been happening for years, and we always say, "Oh no, was he from Saudi Arabia? Was he black? Was he this?" No, it's Czech. What's his name? Tanner that lives in your subdivision that nobody don't say nothing to, wearing black boots and black trench coats in the summer, looking at everybody crazy. I mean, nobody don't say nothing. Nobody give him no medical help. Then now they gonna say he had medical issues. Huh? Him and his mama should be burned. Him and his mama should be put in a chair because he was 17 when it went wrong. They didn't check it. Put it like this: if they see me walking down the street, they're gonna ask me, "Do you have any weapons on his hand?" They did not ask him for ID. They did not see that he belonged in that area. He was 2 hours away from his tax code, from where he pays taxes. So you ain't protecting nothing in that area. That's one. Two, you ain't even old enough to have. You ain't even old enough to have a license to carry. You ain't even put it like this. What do you protect? You ain't even old enough to vote, bro. So why were you even down there? And your mom is a retard, because why did she drive you 2 hours? Now, put it like this. What's real is he lucky somebody, like Wellington said, he lucky somebody wasn't down there and was handling some real PTSD from the military and took it out of his head and shot him up. Then it would have been wrong. We've been wrong, right? Somebody would have been wrong. If they had, they killed Kyle. No, Kyle shouldn't have been down there. I know where my kid is at. And the thing is, the crazy thing about it is how we live in a country where we got to watch our kids. We got to watch everything our kids do. We got to protect our kids. We got to tell our kids how to walk, talk, live, breathe, how not to look in somebody's face like we in 1950s. Don't look them in his face, sir. Don't, whatever you do, don't say nothing wrong to Mr. Johnson. But then they kids leave out of the house with ache to protect property. And then, come on, man. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And if they don't, put it like this, if they don't go after this kid and they don't throw the book at him or they find some reason for him, you ain't got to worry about stuff burning.
Right.
Because now we don't feel safe. I live in the suburbs. I live in the suburbs when these little kids live in my area. These kids live down the street from me. So when my son go to school, he's on the bus. He's in the neighborhood with these kids. And this is the temperature we in now. So do I need to put a gun on my son to send him to school? Well, how do I handle this?
Let me get to Rita. Rita, what was your thoughts when you saw what happened?
Man, I've said this before. I immediately thought about Tamir Rice and John Crawford, who were holding fake weapons and killed almost instantly. And you have this boy walking down the street with an AK-47, was not harmed, was not detained, was not shot in the back 7 times, was allowed to go back across state lines, probably sleep in his bed, and get apprehended the next day. Like, come on, man. Like, this is sinful. This is sinful. And it also just made me think, like, hey, this is kind of on Trump. It is on Trump, because he gets up there on Twitter, he gets in these speeches, and he's talking about protesters being violent and dangerous, and the mayors don't have any order over their city. You need to occupy them. You need to dominate them. And the boy was pictured at a Trump rally. So he's listening to all of this. He's internalizing all of this. And he thinks he's like Trump's vigilante, or he's out there doing Trump's work. Trump knows what he's doing. He knows he has gullible followers. And now you have freaking teenagers who are being influenced by Trump and his words. So it is ridiculous. And I have people saying, oh, well, maybe he should be not tried as an adult. He did adult things. Murdering somebody is an adult action. That is an adult.
If he was
action.
black,
And
if he was a black teenager, if he was a black 17-year-old, he'd be tried as an adult.
Go ahead, Rita.
And an investigation also needs to be done on the Kenosha Police Department, because there have been some questionable things circulating about the chief, and there's some allegations out there that they were in cahoots with him. That they
it's on video.
So
it's on video.
Yes.
That's all on video of them giving them water, thanking them, and that's all on video. So it's no question that police department knew they was there, knew what was going on, didn't check to see if they were licensed to carry. But I will say this, there will be copycats, because it all started with that couple. That couple that was in front of that with the rifle and the gun, and you let them go and
speak at the RNC.
At the RNC, when you let that happen, then you get people to travel from another city, another state, to come into your state with a gun and protect buildings that you don't even shop here. You don't live here to protect. Why are you even here?
But
the narrative is that America is not safe. America is not safe. This is what they're saying. You will not be safe in the Trump America is dangerous as hell.
We'll protect you.
Dangerous.
It's
dangerous. This is Trump's.
How things used to be in the old South, because the police in the South used to lead civil rights workers and black people right into the hand of the KKK. They used to deliver them to the KKK. We should not still be seeing a continuation of this. This is why folks are saying defund, reimagine, reform, whatever, the police department, because there are racists, there are covert white supremacists in the police department, and they are destructing black people every day, annihilating us.
The sad thing about this, people, because I put a video out on YouTube, and the comments that I got was amazing. There's people actually justifying his action. One person is Tucker Carlson, Fox News. He's on Fox News. He has a show, and he speaks on it, and he kind of justifies the actions of Kyle Rittenhouse. Do we have that video so you can see how they're thinking about his actions?
So are you really surprised that looting and arson accelerated to murder? How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided they had to maintain order when no one else would? Everyone could see what was happening in Kenosha. It was getting crazier by the hour.
This is sad. I've had people commenting on my video saying he's an American hero. He should have shot more. He should have shot more. Self-defense.
More people.
I mean, the comments that I got in my inbox on Facebook is ridiculous, man.
Kill the looters.
It's ridiculous, and it's like I said, It was started by our president. He set the atmosphere.
Ask yourself this: why they
And
so mad at us?
You know what's interesting? He's not the only one. It is the whole Republican Party that is backing this boy. They call Ann Coulter called him a hero. I would want him to be my president. There are other people starting GoFundMe's for me. They are doing everything they can to let this boy know that he is appreciated. This is going to spark more copycats. Now, if these protesters start showing up there with arms, which they should, I can promise you it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a shootout because that boy came up there looking to kill somebody. You don't protect the business. Who was going out there with it? That's what they have insurance for. He said it is my job to protect these people and help these people. Nobody employed him. Nobody. What are they paying you in? Lunchables, Cheetos, Capri Suns? Nobody employed you. So why are you saying it's your job? They have insurance for that. That's what the police are paid for. If you want to protect
the buildings were already boarded up. The buildings were already boarded up. Everything was boarded up already. So I'm just like, the whole city.
He came out there to get a justified kill, and he got it.
Well,
that's what he came out there for.
Right now, he has 6 charges: first-degree reckless homicide, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, first-degree intentional homicide, attempted first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless endangering. Okay. Same thing, and the possession of dangerous weapon. So basically, before, and I wanted to comment on these folks commenting on my video. I don't care if it was self-defense. I don't care. Before you even get to that, let's talk about how many laws that he broken before he even got to the point of self-defense. And I think they got mad when I called him a thug. When I called him a thug and a terrorist, it ate them up.
He is a thug for sure, and he is a gang member. That is a gang. That's not a militia. He is a gang member. That was a gang of people that came there to kill. They didn't come there.
Yep, that was probably his initiation.
Render medical aid. Yeah, possibly so.
That was probably his initiation into the fold.
I'm hoping
Go down to the protest. Go down to the protest and shoot a couple of people, and we'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. We keep forgetting that this is what it used to be, and we're not that far from. And we're acting like you watch the news and watch Netflix. It is so similar, and those are actors. But this is the world we living in. We keep closing our eyes like tomorrow it's going to change, and we as Black people keep getting our PTSD reset every week. Every week we get it reset with a killing, with a killing, with a killing. The thing is, he didn't even shoot anybody black, did he? He shot other white people. And they're still. So this is just a culture of within themselves just loving to kill. But nobody didn't say, oh, this is white on white crime. Nobody didn't say that. Nobody's saying any of that. This is what we living in. And we're in here going, yo, we're protecting. This is a crazy thing. We're saying, oh my gosh, them white people didn't deserve to die like that. This is a Black community. We ain't rock back it like they saying, well, let them kill themselves, because that's what they do.
But the thing is, we are fighting police brutality, which benefits everyone. It benefits everyone. Like it's first for us, but it's going to benefit y'all. And the fact that the people that he shot wasn't even Black, and Black people still speaking up about it. That says a lot about their culture, man.
There's a lot about us. There's a lot about us as a people, but who cares, man? Who cares? Like why? In the scheme of the thing, why do they not like us? What do we do for all this to keep culminating on our backs? There's Asian, there's Indian, there's so many other nationalities that live here in the country that should be voting, that pay taxes. But why is it fall on the back of us? Because we are not supposed to be here.
But also, if you are a Black man, you know that there is some jealousy with how you guys pack beneath the belly button. I honestly think Tucker Carlson, men like that, they are intimidated by Black men. They scared y'all gonna take their women, their wives. I tried to say it as clean as I could, but there's a lot of intimidation of Black. They are intimidated by Black men. You guys are athletic. You are strong. You are beautiful. White women, they covet you. You know, that has something to do with it. All right, go ahead.
Hey, can I say thank you? Hey, I knew it, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Let me tell you this. One thing that intimidates, that seems to be intimidating white America most is black families, period. Black families. Anytime, why do you think Hollywood is showing more white men with black women? Because they want black women to get comfortable with seeing that image. Meanwhile, white men are the last people to ever come to the rescue of black women. They cheat them in all kinds of ways. They've mistreated them. Henrietta Lacks, they took her sales, and none of her family has been paid for the medical breakthrough that Henrietta Lacks had. None. And she is the reason it is a $1 billion industry because of her sales.
They wouldn't even
Nobody's talking
have
about that, but they took that.
They wouldn't even know about blood transfusions, any of that stuff.
They kill these black women in hospitals, but meanwhile, look on your television. Every commercial you see is a black woman with a white man. You go to these new shows, these Netflix movies are being made with. There's another movie with a young black girl, white man. They keep wanting women to get comfortable with that image, as if these guys are somehow the ones that's going to give them that healthy lifestyle for a relationship. When in fact, they're trying to kill them in every way possible, and they have no regards for these black women's children. They take the men out of the household and leave these black women to raise them by themselves. And when I see him tell you, raising an infant alone by yourself is not easy. It ain't easy. Yeah. When they have the nerve to try to make it seem like they're the ones to provide healthy relationships for these women, and it's a lie. And it's a lie. They don't like black families.
Preach, brother.
They hate what it produces.
Not after starting rape culture and slavery, I will never ever feel comfortable dating a white man, knowing what they did to my black ancestors and impregnating us secretly.
And the question is, so what would y'all say to people that say, well, there are probably some white men out there that truly love black women? What would you say to that?
They don't, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. You can here's the thing. You can marry a black woman, and when y'all get divorced, that black person's community is an afterthought to them. To black people, our community is the first thought, is priority, whether I'm with you or not. Now, when you got celebrities like Dr. Dre marrying outside of his race, when that woman takes half his money, guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna filter it into communities that look like her. If it was a black woman that's taking that money, it's still going to go back into our community, period. Mm-hmm. So it's still a win-win. When you marry like Usher is probably one of the only artists at his caliber that has pure black children. So his money is getting to see his legacy.
He ain't the only one.
You can't be. Michael Jackson don't even have black kids.
He ain't the only one that got black kids, man.
Yo, can you leave Michael alone, man?
But all I'm saying is,
Michael in here, though. All right, we about to go ahead, Rita. We're gonna wrap this up in a minute.
I would feel better if white women would just date some less rich black men, because that seems a way. You know, you got Kim Kardashian with a rich Kanye. It seems like white women only go for the rich black man. And I'm like, why is that? If it's love,
I got a white woman in my neighborhood. Her and her husband, you know, they cut my yard, but they you know, they pretty low. She got a low one right there.
And let me just say this real quick. What I've noticed is that what's interesting is that they're using Hollywood entertainment is using black women to ride their wave. They're riding black women's wave. They're riding black women's come up. I'm gonna give you an example. Taraji P. Henson. She did a movie with whatever that white guy's name is on Netflix, where she is pretty much using her fan base to cross over with him. Angela Bassett has had the love interest. Every time a major black woman star is in a movie, they have to have the white man play the love interest. And not only are they playing the love interest, they get to ride their wave. How many black people in movies have been in rape scenes with white women? So not only do they rape black women in these movies, they also get to be the love interest of these black women. But no love. Yep. Has Meryl Streep ever had a black love interest?
No.
Has Julia Roberts ever had a black love interest? Has Anne Hathaway ever had a black love interest? How many of these elite white actresses have had black love interests? Has Angelina Jolie had a black love interest? Never. Never.
They started
Meanwhile, Viola Davis, huh?
They started it with Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, that? Oh, no.
Oh, that's a whole nother topic, though.
Bodyguard.
Yeah, that's. But at the end of the day, like I said,
but Viola Davis, she had a love interest. Liam Neeson, Taraji P. Henson had a love interest. Angela Bassett, Robert De Niro was a love interest. All of our top.
Sanaa Lathan.
So the question is, Wellington, what you saying? Remind everybody, what does that tie into? For what you're trying to say.
What I'm saying is, they're using black women, but they don't seem to want. They're using black women to ride their wave, not only ride their wave, let them see that there's a comfort in embracing a white man who has literally done nothing but destroy our communities. Meanwhile,
but to say what I'm saying is
they want to continue to represent.
But what I'm saying to the person that's looking and saying what they got to do with our community, what they got to do with what we're talking about, with the crowd,
imagery is everything.
Healthy black families. They don't want you to see healthy black families. They want people to view a healthy relationship with a black woman would be that between a white man and a black woman, not that between a black man and a black woman, because those relationships are far and in between. They do not show it in a healthy light in the entertainment industry. They don't.
Imagery.
They do not want you to see that.
And I agree. I agree. That's New York right there. But as we wrap up, man, I get what you're saying, because imagery is important. And the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse can walk up to a cop with an AR and not get his head blown off.
And that's imagery.
And imagery and how Jacob is walking towards the car with no gun in his hand. I think they tried to pull an article where they said he had a knife. A knife.
I saw something that they said that they charged him with a rape. He raped some 14-year-old. That was something.
They've been trying to put all kind of stuff out about this boy, and it's not
Saddest
cool.
thing I heard was they had him handcuffed and he is paralyzed. They
still got a handcuff right now. So
great nasty thing I've ever seen in my life.
So what you're saying is true, man. The imagery of black family and black America is totally wrong, and we got to get it correct, because we're going to continue to have more of Kyle Rittenhouse, Rittenhouses, and we're going to continue to have Jacob. And I can't think about my Trayford. Trayford is the guy that was killed walking away with a knife. He was shot 11 times. Both men were walking away from the cops. And you have a white boy walking towards the cops with an AR.
Is that the dude that was to the store?
Yeah, he was walking towards the store. So that's the imagery I want y'all to get that in your head. Two black boys walking away from the cop. One supposedly with a knife.
So let me say this, y'all. What does that do? What does that do to your soul, knowing that that's not a TV show? That's happening on a regular basis.
Right.
Like that's something that, how do I get in my car and not feel like just 2 blocks from my house at a gas station, cop may say I look like somebody, pull up on me. And then they say, yeah, that's him, and they unload in my back. People just don't think that they don't see the magnitude, man.
Look, we gotta wrap it up. Go ahead, real quick.
Just want to say this real quick. My whole purpose of bringing that up was the simple fact that I want black women to see, I want black men to see that they are planting seeds of resentment, so that when you look at that black man, you have a sense of resentment. Because people are always going back for black women not protected, black men are not protected. Well, protecting a black woman is protecting her child as well. It's not just protecting her physically. It's protecting her child. It's protecting her livelihood, which means you need to speak up if you see her being ripped off in any form, fashion at the job or whatever the case is. It's protecting her property, which men in New York did when this black woman was being threatened by her neighbor and harassed by her neighbor. They took shifts. So what they're doing is they're trying to strip the image of the black man from the black woman, and that leaves you naked. because no one's going to fight for you harder than the black man. But what they've done
well,
throughout 400 years is remove us from the household and remove us by putting felonies on us. So even when black men try to speak up for you, the first thing they do is run his criminal record. They want to make sure you have zero protection by stripping the black man away from you.
I would say this: it doesn't only affect the imagery of for black people or for black women, but as you can see, it affects the imagery of those cops, those white cops, because they don't see us as human beings. The more you continue to, they don't see us as human beings. So that's why it's so
it legitimizes the kill.
Yeah, and it's so easy. It's too easy for you to shoot us. It's just too easy. You don't see us as a son, an uncle, a daughter, a brother. You don't see us like that, or a sister, because Breonna Taylor, you don't see us like as family, or as a person that has a family or has to go home and got kids in the car. You don't see us like that. You see us as what, animals or thugs or whatever you see us, because of the imagery that's putting on TV and in the community.
It's not even all in the police. It's bigger than the police, dude. It's like we've been crunched down into police brutality and all that, but it's so much going on just in comedy, and this force is out there is some of the most.
We got to roll. We got to roll though, because we're running out of time. But listen, this was great. This was a great topic. We got so much more to talk about. Man, thank y'all for coming through. Wellington, great job. Hank, awesome. Always awesome. Rita, thank y'all so much.
And I just want to say, protecting black women is protecting your community. Protecting black women is protecting your community. Remember, it's 100%.
I got you. All right, man. We got to get out of here. Thank y'all so much. I've been your host, Alton Walker. This is another That's Funny to Me. We're taking a funny look at serious situations. Thank y'all so much. God bless y'all. Good night. We out of here.
You guys are